You can't stop growing older. That's the sad truth, but you can stay young in spirit. My next guest believes changes in your routine can make you feel younger. Studio 5 relationship coach, Dr. Matt Townsend, is here with strategies to help you feel youthful no matter what your age. How are you, my friend?
Great.
My youthful friend. You're perfect at this because you are young at heart.
I am a child, my wife tells me, at heart.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I had an age check
a
couple weeks ago, though. And I know I'm not old, and people will throw tomatoes
No, you're
at the
a
screen
youngin'.
if I try to say it. But I'm, you know.
No, you're getting up there, too. I don't want to be rude, but you're...
But I saw a friend I hadn't seen in a long time. They looked great. They looked awesome.
They looked wonderful.
But I just had this check like, you don't look how I remember you.
Did you say, whoa?
I didn't say that.
What happened?
But they were probably saying the same thing about me.
It's real, though, huh? And you're 24, 25.
23.
23.
Thank you.
And so imagine that you're 47, 48, and I'm getting old. And I blew my gallbladder out, and things are starting to fall.
Is that a technical term? You blew it out?
I totally blew it out. But here's the cool thing. As our body tends to get old and die, our spirit can actually get stronger. Isn't that a crazy irony of life? As the body dies, falls into entropy, our spirit can fall into the opposite of entropy, which is negentropy, and we can grow and become even more fun, more powerful.
I've actually never thought about it like that,
it's
the contrast that's happening,
It's
right?
great. And in a weird way, it might be the decline of the body that enhances the chance for us to move to the spirit and grow the spirit even more.
Because with that comes humility, vulnerability, all of those traits that we try to practice.
Exactly.
Opportunity, that's a positive one. So let's jump into some steps. You say the first step, in fact, to recapturing that childlike, I don't want to call it childlike, but youthful approach, youthful heart way of living is to leave the shallow end of the pool.
So kids love the shallow, but they're always trying to get to the deep end of the pool. So kids eventually play in the shallow, and then they move their way to the deep. But adults, we've moved to the deep, and then we like to get back to the shallow and just sit there. And what I mean by that is, as far as the content, as far as our learning, we love to keep our life fairly shallow. We don't tend to go for the deeper meanings in life. And if you don't go for the deeper meanings, then you're probably not going to be more more youthful in spirit. You're not going to have the question why. How many times do your kids ask why? And you're just like, because I said so, that's why. But they want to know why to everything, because every why takes them to a deeper answer and a deeper answer, and they want the deeper answers. So ask yourself, do you play in the deep end of the pool? Do you have certain things that you've studied deeply, that you understand deeply, even hobbies, excellent like topics that you love, spiritual things? Do you study them deeply to know the deeper meanings of life, or are you okay with just the shallow, easy answer?
You make a great point, though, because we stop asking that question why, because we start to know what the answer could be, right? The risk is higher. The potential loss is deeper. And so it starts to be a scary question to ask.
Exactly. And then we don't want to go there, so we don't go there. But by not going there, we don't deepen our lives, and we don't deepen the mystery. There's a lot of mystery of life, and if life doesn't seem mysterious, then it's not going to seem as exciting. It's not going to seem as fun. So we want to deepen it by going deeper. The more you know, the more you know you don't know.
You're a funny guy.
Well, thank you.
You are. You make us laugh. You laugh a lot. Is there something to that? The research always points to humor and levity.
And I didn't even know half of this research. There's a lot of research on humor. Did you know that you live longer if you laugh a lot?
I believe it.
I did not know that. Did you know that it burns calories, about 40 calories for 15 minutes of laughing?
Right here?
Exactly. That's why my abs are burning. Did you know that it's good for relationships? People find laughter attractive, so you're a more attractive person. It helps you relax. It improves your body chemistry. It's a painkiller in almost every way. And kids, they say, laugh about, they say 300 to 400 times a day. Adults, they say, laugh like 20 to 30 times a day.
Oh my gosh.
It's pitiful. If those numbers are true, that's pretty pathetic. So we've got to get intentional about finding more laughter.
How sweet that is, knowing kids laugh 300 times a day. That just put a twinkle in my heart.
Well, until we send them back to school. And then it's kind of not funny anymore. Oh,
Stay positive,
sorry, don't want to be a downer there.
All right, you say also, in terms, we get deep, we laugh.
Laugh a little bit.
We stay lighthearted that way. But you also want us to break some of our own rules in pursuit of that young spirit.
We are uptight. We're uptight. And it makes sense to be uptight when you got kids, right?
Yeah.
So as parents, we make all these rules like, take your shoes off in the house. Nobody goes in the front room. The front room is the holy sanctuary of the house. We vacuum it, but no one goes in there.
My mom's is all white.
Does she have one of those? It's always the all-white room.
Yeah, it's a celestial room.
Nobody eats in the family room. We have all these rules. And then what's funny is we get older, our kids go away, and we don't need these rules. I had a friend that blew my mind once. Her last child left. They were empty nesters, and I said, "Oh, wow. So now what? What's it like at home?" And she goes, "It's awesome. We don't even have to get dressed anymore." What? So they break the rule. They used to only get dressed for the kids, but now they're like, we can just lock the door and walk around without clothes on.
She took this advice to a whole new
level.
level.
She totally did. But the weird thing about that, that's youthful. That's fun. So there are some rules you can break. You could go on a date on a Wednesday night. Heck, you could go on a date in the middle of the day. What would happen? You could do the craziest things. You could break rules. You don't have to break. You don't want to break your big rules of life, but break the little silly ones that are irrelevant that in the end won't matter, and that'll start to add again some more mystery, some more excitement to life.
So you find then that even as we get a little older in adulthood, we stick to those predictable patterns.
Yeah. See, humans love to be predictable.
Yeah.
And we would think that that would be boring, but for us, it makes life so much easier because we think we have more control. But the reality is you don't have any control. This could all end tonight, right? So in the end, let's just figure out a way to loosen up a little bit, let go of some of the rules.
You know who helps me do this?
Who?
You know who will continue to help me do this?
Your husband.
Mark. He's really good about turning it upside down.
It's hard to get Mark to follow any rules.
Well, yeah, I mean not
to diss on Mark.
Mark was not the one that suggested the naked rule.
No,
I'm just saying right now.
You're still young.
He's really good, like date night on a Wednesday or whatever. Grab a babysitter. Let's just go for an hour.
That's
and I appreciate that, and I can see where down the road that's going to be really valuable.
Can you eat crackers in bed? Yes.
Is that what Matt Townsend says?
You can have ice cream any time of day.
I don't know if I'm ready quite for crackers in bed.
Okay, well, you wait till your kids are older.
We'll work up to it. Yeah. You say we can also, I love this last point. This is perhaps the one that spoke to me the most. Adopt a life of awe. Just that word awe is inspiring.
The research, they're doing a lot of research around awe. So awe is when you see something that takes you to a completely different level. When you see the Grand Canyon and it is so enormous that it actually shrinks you to just nothing. And there's finding out that when people feel awe, they turn into better people. They're more altruistic. They're more giving. They're more charitable. They volunteer more. They give more of themselves because they've become humbled. So awe can be seeing a baby born. Awe can be just watching a child do something for the first time. Awe could be the Grand Canyon. It could be some magical shot. For me, it's Bob Ross, the painter. If I could be reincarnated into another human being, big hair Bob Ross.
I can see you.
When I watch Bob Ross and I just see him pull a painting out of nowhere, it puts me in awe, and then it makes me want to be better. Okay,
but how can we start acknowledging awe in the everyday? Because every day for me doesn't include a trip to the Grand Canyon or seeing a baby born.
Well, but so the funny thing is why don't you just look up? Because if you just look up, and symbolically that has some pretty cool symbolism, but just looking up and seeing the clouds or seeing the red sky or seeing the sunset. Like my wife catches all these pictures for our memes on our Facebook page. So she's seeing all of this awe. She's seeing it through a lens. So many would wonder if she's actually seeing it. But in the end, she catches stuff, the rainbows. So the stuff is there. Part of it is intentionally go looking after the awe. Seek it out, find it, and make it part of your existence. And then take a deep breath and have a sense and a second to actually enjoy it. And then maybe put it in perspective for what it all means. And usually what it all means is it shrinks you. And that's what's neat about it is awe shrinks you as a human to just a tiny little piece of something that's so much bigger than you. It's huge.
I like this topic a lot.
And it makes us young.
In spirit. Where can viewers go for more of your advice?
MattTownsend.com. You're not going to want to miss it. We've got date nights, webinars coming up, big announcements we'll be making over the next few weeks. So go to MattTownsend.com.
I should say, too, our most shared Facebook clip of the month was our chat on anxiety a couple weeks ago.
Was it really?
Yeah,
see how nervous we all are?
People are really appreciating that. So if you missed it, you can dial it up on our Facebook page. And as always, we'll link you over to Matt's website from ours, studio5.ksl.com. Thanks, my friend.
Thanks,
my young,
Brooklyn.
spirited friend.
You too.
Keep those clothes on.